Welcome back to another Bolt tutorial. Have you ever wanted to visually understand the user flow of your project? In this video, we'll be using the Miro MCP connector to translate your code base into a user flow diagram. Then we'll edit the flow visually and bring those changes back into Bolt. Let's dive in. For this project, we'll be using a recreation of the Spotify dashboard. To create such a similar looking interface, we've implemented a Spotify flavored design markdown document. This defines the visual theme, color palette, hierarchy, etc. Let's imagine the users just signed up and we want to guide them through an onboarding flow to understand their taste of music. Here's our prompt. Please create an onboarding flow about 5 or 6 steps long, which can be triggered by pressing a button in the bottom left. Use this to determine music taste and listening habits from the user. We'll enhance the prompt, we'll plan it out and build. The agent's asking us some clarifying questions, so let's answer those, take it off plan mode and send. Let's check it out. Personalize. Wow, have a look at this. All right, looks like it's using the Spotify design system. We can select the sounds that we like. Go next. Artists that we love. Fantastic. Next. When do you listen? Nice. How adventurous are you? High quality. Okay, it looks like it's done a really good job implementing an example onboarding flow. Now let's pay attention to the order. If we go back to the very start, we can see it's asking us what sounds we like. Then it asks the artists we love and when we listen, etc. Now it's time to configure the Miro connector. This is powered by Anthropic's Model Context Protocol, MCP. To do this, we'll jump into Settings and click Connectors. Select Miro, click Connect. Because we're already logged in with Miro in another tab, it uses OAuth and we can simply click Allow Access. Choose the org, continue, and just like that, the MCP server is connected. Once connected, we can see all of the tools that the Bolt agent now has access to within Miro. It can list the board items, get context, create diagrams, etc. After connecting, I like to go into Edit, and usually I'll turn Auto Enable for all projects off. This means the agent will only use the MCP server when you turn it on, avoiding excess token consumption. We'll make sure to save those changes. Now it's really easy to toggle the MCPs. Simply come down here, click on connectors, and here we're going to make sure that the Miro connector is toggled on. Now it's time for us to jump into Miro. Let's create a new board. With the blank board configured, let's copy the URL and jump back into Bolt. Here's our prompt. Using the Miro MCP connector, please determine the site map and visualize it on the following Miro board. And we'll paste that URL and send off the prompt. The Bolt agent's finished working, and if we jump over into Miro, we can see that the agent has now created an entire sitemap of our project. Make sure to click Apply to Canvas. And this is a great way that we can visualize the user flow through the entire site. Because Bolt uses React under the hood and it has a nested component structure, you'll find that often we have components within components. Scrolling over, here we can find we've got our onboarding flow modal. It's showing genre selection, then artist selection, context selection, etc. Let's say we want to swap these steps around and we want to put context selection before the artist selection. Let's go ahead and rearrange these. Looks good. One of the beautiful things about MCP connectors is that they enable a two-way communication between the Bolt agent and the external source that you're communicating with. Not only are we able to send information out from our project to the Miro board like we saw before, but now we're going to draw information in from the Miro board to the Bolt agent's context. So let's prompt. I have rearranged the onboarding flow on the Miro board. Please determine the difference and update the code to reflect this. Now let's plan this out and build. The Bolt agent has flawlessly determined the difference. It says the Miro board has been rearranged so that context section now becomes before the artist selection. So we're happy with that. Let's go ahead and implement the plan. Let's test it out. Personalize, what sounds we like, next. And now we can see when do you listen is the second step instead of the third. And after that is asking us about the artists that we love. This is a great example of how you can map the user flow onto a diagram and understand this flow visually. Now, the benefits of connecting your Bolt app to Miro don't stop there. Let's now try and visualize your database by implementing an entity relationship diagram. Let's clear the context, Here's our prompt. Please create an entity relationship diagram to visualize the database in the following Miro board. Now, because we cleared the context, we're going to have to paste the URL again, and let's build it. The agent's finished working, so let's jump over to our Miro board. And here we can see our entity relationship diagram showing all of the tables visualized here in our Miro board. If we zoom in, we can see that the artist is connected to albums, the albums are connected to tracks, and the tracks are also connected back to the artists. Our playlists contain tracks, and we can see how each of these tables in our Bolt database are connected to one another. Note that it's also showing us the columns inside each of these tables as well. PK stands for primary key and FK stands for foreign key, which is how it's mapped to the other tables. Let's count these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jumping back into Bolt, if we look at our database, we've got the exact same tables here. So there we go. In this video, you've learned how to connect the Miro MCP connector so that you can connect the Bolt agent with the external context of Miro. Not only have we been able to send information from Bolt to a Miro board, but we've been able to pull information from a Miro board back and use that in the Bolt agent's context. This can become really useful to visualize complex flows if you can't fully understand it by talking to the Bolt agent and you want to see it on a diagram. I really hope you found this tutorial useful, and as always, if there's any content that you'd like to learn more about, please leave it in the comments below and we'll do our best to get to it. And with that, good luck implementing the Miro MCP connector.